Next we have Brother Howell Joiner. He's from Frankoma Road Church of God. The pastor there is Pastor James Bell. A little bit about how he was born in Louisiana. He was raised in a true Christian home by godly parents, and as a result, he took the teaching of fairness and honesty to all along the highways and byways of life, but neglected to bring God and Christianity. This journey resulted in an unexpected ride that has taken him from a small farm to labor leadership to political activists and leading with top labor leaders, government officials, and mafia bosses. He has authored a book, Full Circle with a Tale, that is the full picture of his history and journey through life, that is now published and available. I seen a copy on the table back here, but please, come on, let's give a toss, a warm welcome for Brother Howell Joiner.
Introduction. And isn't God good? You know, he's blessed us with an abundance of rain of late, but for this day, he's let the sun shine upon us, and that is great. And I'll just take up from where the introduction left off. I started in that journey. The Lord had a work for me to do, but the enemy had convinced me that I didn't want to do it, and I started down that wrong path, and it snowballed on me. Soon there were too many bridges burned behind me to even think about returning, I thought. But then I went ahead and advanced into the career that took me down the paths that you've heard about. For 40-some years, I wandered around in the wilderness like the children of Israel, but my wilderness was the wilderness of sin. In March 6, 2001, I'd taken a job managing property for a firm after I retired, and I collapsed on the job, ended up in the hospital, and they started testing. They had to give me 3 units of blood before they could even start testing. And it was a dark story from there on out. In a few days, the testing was all done. I was diagnosed, and they called a conference with the family and the surgeon and the other doctors, and presented what they were going to do. They were going to take all my stomach out, put a feeding prayer, and it took me 10 days of praying, and I still hadn't gotten any victory. Now, you know, people say sometimes all you have to do is a sinner's prayer, but I had to do more than a sinner's prayer. I had to do a lot of repenting, and I had to get a lot of forgiveness for my many sins. So they come to take me down to surgery. The minister had been in the prep room praying with me. And he had to leave. They took me to surgery and started in that operating room. Stopped, backed up, says, "Mr. Joiner, we're going to have to park you right here. That room hasn't been prepared." I thought to myself, thank God for some more time to pray. And they left me there in that hospital hallway all by myself, and I started praying. I says, "Lord, forgive me for my many years of transgressions. Forgive me for running from the work you had for me to do when I was a young man. If you still have something you want me to do and want to leave me here, I'm committed to you here and now that I will do it. But the most important thing is I have to get salvation. Lord, save my soul, forgive me of my sins, and make me know I've been saved." And there's no words to express at this time in English or any other language the feeling that came rolling down through that hallway. It seemed like the hall was filled from floor to ceiling, wall to wall, and it came over, in, around, and through me. And as that moved in, I knew I had been saved. I knew that if I went into eternity before the surgery was over, that I was ready to go. Shortly after that, they wheeled me in the operating room, started the anesthetic on me. Sleep came easy and deep. And sometime while I was under anesthetic, I became conscious. I became aware. I was laying there thinking, they're doing surgery on me right now. My body's under anesthetic. I'm not supposed to be awake. Am I starting to go into eternity? If so, Lord, here I come. I knew I was ready. And then I heard a clicking sound. It sounded like a giant PA system being turned on. But it just got my attention. And then I heard a strong, crisp, clear, masculine voice make an announcement. And that announcement was, Howell Joiner is going to be okay. Immediately following that, it sounded like the windows of heaven opened up, and I heard the most glorious shouting and praising and giving glory to God that you ever could have dreamed of hearing. And immediately, after a few minutes, that went away. And then I was sound asleep again. Next thing I knew was hours later. Now they were supposed to take me back to, take me to intensive care. Said it'd be a week at least before I could get back to my room. They started waking me up. Said, wake up, Mr. Joiner. We've got good news for you. You don't have to go to intensive care. You're going back to your room. Your family's already been notified and they're there. So, I was awful groggy, but I heard that good news, and I had heard that message while I was under anesthetic. Now that message was just as clear as if I've been hearing people speak today. So it was not a dream or something that was floating. It was a message from God. So the next morning the doctor came in and he said, I don't know why the tests, pictures and everything showed it to be so bad. I said, we got you opened up and the cancer wasn't near as bad as we thought. But he says, I took biopsies everywhere I could get them, and we'll wait for the pathology reports to come back, and we'll decide where we go from there. So in a few days, he came in, he pulled up a chair and sat down, and he says, Mr. Joiner, I owe you and your family a terrible apology for painting such a dark picture before you. Said, all the biopsies I took, we cannot find a single cancer cell. The only cancer cells we found was in the damaged tissue in the tumor we took out of you. And he said, by the way, the tumor was 6.5 pounds, not counting this stomach tissue that was removed. But they left me 35% of my stomach, and I've been able to stretch that a little bit and eat well today. But anyway, the cancer doctor, the oncologist came in that afternoon, and he described all the cancer treatments and the methods of delivery and all this, went into detail. But then he said, in your case, I see no reason to give you any treatments of any kind because we don't have any cancer to target. And 5 weeks later, I'm back out working on those old houses again. I've been taking my regular tests and follow-ups as the doctor's ordered ever since. And I am here today. It's about over 8 years later, still cancer-free, still going around doing what the Lord's leading me to do, and that's what I'm doing today. Go find every venue I can to tell what the Lord has done for me. And I want to thank you all very much.